What's up, everybody? I'm back, and I do not want to do another roller coaster news video, but it looks like I have to. Because again, we're talking about Cedar Point today, and the announcement that was made a few hours ago that Top Thrill Dragster is closed for the remainder of the 2021 season. And this is due to the big accident that happened a few days ago now. And we're going to get into all of it. I'll explain the details about the accident. I'll explain its closure and what this may mean for the ride. I'm going to make some pretty out there predictions, maybe some more realistic predictions about what I think may happen with the ride. Now, this affects me personally because I love Top Thrill, not just because I love Top Thrill Dragster, but because I'm planning on going to Cedar Point. We're going there Labor Day weekend. I've already made this announcement, and I wanted to ride it, and enjoy it. Now I won't be able to, and that's going to suck, but it's for the rest. So let's talk about the accident first, the reason why it's been shut down. So this was about 2-3 days ago, I think it was. It was in the middle of the afternoon. This lady was was in line for the dragster, and what presumably happened, now correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I've heard, is that one of the brake fins, I'm talking about the fins that they've lined the start of the ride and the end of the ride, and they're the brakes for the ride. They're magnetic brakes that stop the ride, and they're good for stopping it at such high speeds. But what happened there is the ride, one of those brake fins broke, and part of it flew and hit the lady in the head, severely injuring her, and she had to get carried off to the hospital. She survived, and I think she'll make a full recovery. But again, that's a serious injury, and the ride had to be shut down and investigated. And Cedar Point just recently, due to that accident, made the announcement that the ride will be closed for the remainder of 2021 season due to safety reasons. Because, safety is their top priority, obviously, so it's good that they're doing that. I have no problem with safety. Safety is number one priority, and Dragster is a ride that is notorious for breaking down and having a lot of mechanical issues, but mostly they're just minor ones. Nothing that really affects the safety of the public. As far as flying shrapnel and stuff goes, it really hasn't had many of those problems. It has had a couple, and we'll get into that in a minute, but not really anything too spectacular where it's really put the public in danger here. So this is a mostly isolated incident, and I see why they have to close it, and they have to investigate, and Cedar Fair is going to get in touch with Intamin, and they're going to have to like it as well. And as like I said before, Dragster's closed down all the time. It seems like it's closed more than it's open, and so that kind of sucks that now they're gonna have to actually close it. But if you're gonna pick any coaster that to happen, I guess it'd be Dragster. But I guess you really don't want to pick any coaster for it to happen. But yeah, like I said, this is not an isolated incident, though it is close. There's been 2 other major incidents that I've found in my research talking about this. The first happened in 2004, about a year after it opened, and there was an incident where metal was breaking, it broke metal, but metal was sprayed all across. I think it was across the queue line. Sprayed metal all across the queue line. How does that even happen? Did the part of the track come up? Did part of the car come up? Did a bunch of brake fins break? How does that even work? But yeah, that was the first incident of it happening, severe incident. Second one took place in 2016, when a launch cable snapped during the ride. And luckily, as far as I know, I don't think anybody was severely injured in those incidents, unlike this one. But yeah, it's had those 2 major breakdowns have happened in its lifetime before. So I wanted to touch on that. So this is not an isolated incident. Now, closing it for the remainder of the 2021 season, I think on my opinion, was a little extreme. I think they could have gotten it opened by September, maybe even just for Halloween weekends, but maybe not. Maybe the brake fin did come apart and are having trouble replacing it. Maybe they just want to close it to do some further investigating to try and help prevent it for next time. Who knows? It sucks. It really does. But I think what putting it out for the remainder of the season does is put a lot of speculation to whether it will ever reopen. Because you have to think about that. Remember Son of Beast. I look back on the Son of Beast incident in 2009. That ride sat there dormant for 3 years. That ride had 2 major accidents where not customers. Well, I guess they would be customers, but park goers were injured on the ride. Now, this was on the ride, not off the ride, so it's not the same incident, but people were injured in this incident, and so then they shut the ride down, and it sat there for 3 years before being completely demolished. Nobody ever got to get last rides on it or anything. Now, that ride was big and popular, but it wasn't as fondly remembered as Dragster is. Dragster is obviously the far superior ride between the two of them, and Dragster is also a more iconic ride, I would say, because of it being the first ever strata coaster, was once the fastest roller coaster. It's an icon for Cedar Point. And for those reasons, I can see it not going. I think they're going to do everything inhumanly possible to try and get this ride reopened in 2022 on time, get it fixed. And I'm no roller coaster engineer. I'm no roller coaster. But I'm going to put it out there and say that I think this is doable. I think they can easily get it reopened. Just replace the brake fins, reinforce all the brake fins, maybe replace all of them. Maybe that's why they're closing it down. Maybe they're going to replace all the brake fins, or just replace the one, reinforce the rest, reinforce the mechanics of the ride, and it can easily get reopened for 2022. Now, but what are the chances that it maybe? What are the chances it does reopen? What are the chances it doesn't? Right now, I say they're pretty high that it will reopen, but it's getting lower every day. I don't think that it's going to close down. Again, it's an icon to Cedar Point. It's an icon of the roller coaster community. And they've put up with it for so long that I just think that they can handle it at this point. I really don't see a point in shutting it down. But I hope it doesn't. I want to ride it again. I won't get to ride it when we go Labor Day weekend, though I will get some footage of it, see maybe what's going on around it. And obviously everybody's going to be focused on Wicked Twister. I was a little bit feared that I had like a nightmare, right? I had this like fear, and it's like a pretty rational fear that maybe they'll call off Wicked Twister and keep it there for a while, and instead remove Dragster and put a new ride in its place instead for 2022 or 2023, and keep Wicked Twister around for a little while longer instead. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Wicked Twister's fate is sealed. And I already did a whole video talking about Wicked Twister, so I won't get too much into that. But, oh boy. Well, that's all I got to really say. My prediction is I think it will reopen for 2022. I'm a little baffled that they decided to shut it down for the remainder of 2021. I think they could have easily gotten it reopened for the end of the season. But, what are you going to do? I don't care. I do care, but what are you going to do? It is what it is, as much as I say. But now I think it's time to have a discussion in the comment section down below. Comment down below, do you think Dragster will ever reopen? Do you think, what do you think is the major problem here? And what are your thoughts on the incident? So, thank you guys for watching this, and we'll have a discussion in the comments, hopefully, and I'll see you guys in the next discussion video. Goodbye!